Hello, everyone. I'm presenting from Australia and the island state of Tasmania. My basic argument today is that those of us who claim to be experts need to turn the dial down occasionally, especially in the context of on-farm experimentation. Most of us are indeed humble enough to know that as soon as we step onto a farm, we are indeed not the expert. We can't possibly have the same local knowledge as someone who has farmed the same piece of land for decades. But for so long, we as researchers or technicians have done the trials and then we go and tell growers about the results. This approach can be deeply dissatisfying for a grower who might then be left with the question, yes, but how does your research relate to my farm? Today, I'm talking about the situation where farmers are involved in planning and implementing trials with people who have technical expertise, but all are using it to learn about how to do a job better. On-farm experimentation of this type is somewhat analogous to the quantified self-movement in human health. In this context, OFE can be specific to the needs of a particular farming enterprise, or there may be groups who can benefit from multiple trials across the landscape. So if you are the expert coming into the world of participatory OFE, then I suggest there are three key ingredients to ensure your expertise is actually helpful. The first ingredient is to use every interaction with a farmer to observe what they do and why. How many of you know a farmer who writes their daily rainfall on a chart like this? The ones I know keep doing this because it creates time in their day to stop and reflect and to think about what they're going to do next. An expert might come in and suggest the farmer automates this process. Yet there is nothing in this daily act that is frustrating them. So don't be such an expert. Find out what the actual frustrations are. In this example, a group of growers were suffering from a massive outbreak of disease after flooding rains. I was the hired expert invited to give a talk because I had done a lot of trials on the topic. It would have been so easy to come in and preach, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. Instead, I let them talk first. It was pretty clear that anything I had to say would have been of no benefit. What they really needed was time and space to air their pain and to know that they weren't suffering in isolation. In this last example, we need to remember that humans are wired to sit in a circle and tell stories. Most farmers don't really care about statistical significance, but they do care about things like gross margin and how to deploy labour efficiently. So don't forget the power of a good story, as long as it is evidence-based, of course. Consider also who is best placed to tell a story. There's nothing like having a respected farmer relay the practical value of the trial results. This can only boost the credibility of the science underpinning the outcome. And if you do need to front load with data, then make sure you adhere to some fundamental properties of information that are all listed here. In short, delivering the right information at the right time, in the right place, to the right audience, in the right amount. In summary, an effective expert will understand the frustrated want, show genuine empathy, and put the story up front and the data behind. Here's some fun stuff and some references. Thank you for your attention.